what could end the speculation over what led to Constable Subhash Tomar's death. The post-mortem report says injuries on his neck and chest led to a cardiac arrest and subsequent death.
And the post-mortem states that Constable Tomar suffered serious injuries prior to his death. It also states that he suffered a cardiac arrest as a result of injuries to his neck and chest. The report also states that these injuries were due to blunt force trauma. The post-mortem report shows that Constable Tomar suffered internal bleeding in his neck and that 3 of his left ribs were also broken.
Unfortunately, the death of that constable has shifted the focus from the core issue of protest and anger over that gang rape in New Delhi. Joining us now is Arunodhay Mukherjee from Jantar Mantar. Also joining us is Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Dean and Director, Radiant Life Care. He's joining us from New Delhi. Dr. Bagai, if I can come to you first, explain to us the significance of what the post-mortem report says. Would you believe now that it's conclusively proven that he was attacked by somebody there, whether it was the protesters or somebody else, but he was attacked, which could have led to the cardiac arrest?
I have gone through the report of the post-mortem, and it's quite explicit that there has been an ante-mortem injury. That means an injury sustained before he finally died. And secondly, what it has shown is that there has been a significant amount of internal bleeding into his neck muscles, into his upper part of his chest, and he has fractured more than 2 or 3 ribs. This could have led to acute onset of asphyxia or hypoxia because of decreased oxygen, which would have also led to his cardiac arrest.
So would it be possible in your medical experience, Dr. Bagai, that the eyewitnesses or the people who tried to help him did not really notice these injuries?
It is very possible, because when I followed the events very acutely during that morning when all this was happening, and when you have a frenzied mob of more than 5 or 10,000 people who are running amok and hurling very heavy objects, including road dividers and very heavy bricks and stones and other sort of wooden objects, it's very possible to see, to miss actually a large object coming and hitting someone. It is almost impossible to actually focus on one point and see whether a particular object fell directly on him, but the evidence seems pretty clinching and conclusive that there has been a blunt injury on his upper part of his torso, which has led to this internal bleeding and then finally cardiac arrest.
Well, hopefully this report also puts to rest the unfortunate controversy surrounding his death. Arunodhay Mukherjee is with us from Jantar Mantar. Arunodhay, even as this is something that is being debated with the Home Ministry and the Delhi Police giving out one version, what are the protesters there saying? Give us the mood and also the kind of strength we are seeing today at Jantar Mantar.
Well, the protesters have been since morning. I've been here since morning. They didn't start out looking, it wasn't so. There weren't so many people here in the morning, but during the course of the day, the crowd steadily increased. If I can just show you what is happening at this point in time here in Jantar Mantar, the crowds have thinned once again. It's just a small crowd here which is sitting around. They've just finished a candlelight march within the premises of Jantar Mantar, and they've been saying since this morning that we don't want the attention to be shifted from this entire issue, just because the government perhaps is trying to mislead the public, saying that these are all diversionary tactics, be it the controversy surrounding the death of Constable Subhash Tomar or be it anything else. These are all diversionary tactics, just meant to deviate attention from the real cause of this protest. The trust deficit, they say, is continuing to increase. Even with this instance, it's become another example of the Delhi police, as the protesters say, lying to the public. In fact, I'm going to try and get in a few voices in just a short bit from now, but that's what the protesters seem to suggest at this point.
Though they are suggesting that, unfortunately, the death of the constable is also an important issue on how the protests went out at India Gate on Sunday. I'm just going to go back to Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, just so that our viewers can understand this better. Dr. Bagai, we've heard the eyewitness come out and say that, look, there were no evident visible injuries on the constable, and there is no reason not to believe an eyewitness who tried to help the constable when he had collapsed. And then you have the police saying that, look, he was beaten by the protesters, which resulted in his death. Now you have the post-mortem report. Is it possible that both this are correct? Both the versions.
Yeah, I would tend to believe. I would tend to believe the post-mortem report that there has been an injury before he finally died by a blunt object which was thrown by force. This has led to internal bleeding. This is pretty explicit and conclusive. It is also important to understand that in a very large, very ungainly and a rowdy mob of people who are primarily untrained to do any CPR or to see any injuries, that they could miss a particular set of marks or injuries or any particular signs and symptoms which an untrained eye, especially on the roads in that morning when a person is fully clad with a woolen jacket, it is pretty easy to miss.
Right, so you're saying that it could be true they may have missed those internal injuries that the constable suffered, or the fact that the object came out and hit. But as a citizen of Delhi, as someone who's been, as you said, acutely following these protests at India Gate and the fallout of it, do you believe that the post-mortem report now conclusively puts an end to the speculation and the trading of allegations that we've seen play out over the last couple of days? Unfortunate though.
Yeah, I think the rape was a very unfortunate and a very a sad event. But to lose an innocent human life, be it a policeman or be it anyone else, is as bad as the rape. I don't think these protests, the way they have been manifested, and to beat up innocent people is justified, and to be throwing things in an area near Vijay Chowk and Raisina Hill, which are esteemed areas of Delhi, I think it's completely unjustified.